Just of time. Uh, and we appreciate NACAA for our opportunity to have our meeting. We will get started. For those of you who have not met me, my name is Michael Rethwish. I'm the National Committee Chair for the Agronomy and Pest Management Committee. And at this point in time, we'll let our regional vice chairs introduce themselves. And if they want to say something about themselves, they can. Jenny, you are on the screen first. So Jenny, I'll let you introduce yourself first, then we'll go to Chris and see who else we have.
Hi everyone, I'm Jenny Burhill. I'm an extension educator in Nebraska and have been here 22 years now.
Very good. Chris?
Okay, like I said, Chris Grimes, I'm the Southern Region Vice Chair and in the northeast part of the state in Arkansas and Jonesboro County agent there, and also been in the extension for 22 years now.
And I think there's some heat stress happening in Arkansas by what I saw in the national weather this morning. So, Chris, hopefully you have a nice, cool weekend.
That would be nice.
Okay. Our other two regional chairs are Justin Brackenrich from Pennsylvania. Justin, have you joined us?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Justin Brackenrich. I'm an agronomy educator with Penn State, just kind of sandwiched right between Ohio and West Virginia. And I'm closing in on 9 years with Penn State. So sorry for being on a phone, but in the midst of some traveling between stops this afternoon, just making things work.
Very good. And our Western Regional Chair is Kalen Taylor. He had contacted me early this morning. There were some things where he may or may not be able to join us. So, Kalen, if you're on, go ahead and let us know that. And if not, that's fine too. Since we're in Utah, Kalen is in Utah. We have some other people here from Utah. I see Stephen Price. Go ahead and tell us a little bit what's happening in Utah there, Stephen.
So I'm just kind of an interloper here. I'm not formally on the committee, but I am wanting to learn more about how the NACAA committees work. So I'm kind of just joining in. Things are great in Utah. Very dry.
Very good. As we go across and have everyone introduce themselves who are online right now, one thing, if there are some topics you would like us to discuss in relationship to this committee today, please feel free to mention them as we go and introduce ourselves. So, Stephen, besides dry, is there anything else you'd like us to talk about?
Nothing specific comes to mind.
Okay, very good. I see Ashley on the screen here. Go ahead, Ashley, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what state you're from.
Sure, yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Ashley Isaacson. I work for Penn State Extension as an agronomy educator, and I'm serving as the liaison for the agronomy and pest management to Pennsylvania County Ag agents. And I've been with Extension for 3.5 years.
Okay. Very good. Going across the screen here, I see Ambria Small.
That's right. My name is Amber Small. I've been with Extension for 1 year at The Ohio State University. I'm a county extension educator for Champaign, that's just west of Columbus. I've been with the plant pathology department for since 2011, so got plenty experience. But I would be interested to hear what this committee's objectives are and how my experience could support your mission.
Very good. Thank you. Going across my screen at the top here, I see Mike Pace.
Okay, so yeah, I'm Mike Pace. I've been with the Extension for almost 30 years now. I'm in Utah, north of where Steve Price is at. And yeah, excited to be here. Learn a little bit more about the committee.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Becker, I think if I remember correctly, you are from Illinois.
Yes, that's correct. Hello, everyone. Talon Becker, also in Champaign, but this one, Illinois. And I'm a statewide specialist, but covering the East Central region generally for our commercial agronomy team. And yeah, I'm happy to be here as the Illinois State Committee Chair, but also just kind of interested to hear more about what the charges of the National Committee are and what we want to try to accomplish here.
Very good. Thank you. I see we have an Iowa representative, Virgil.
Hey, you got to get the technology going here. Virgil Schmidt. I'm an extension field agronomist with Iowa State University. If you're kind of wondering about my background here, I'm actually on here from our Southeast Research Farm, sitting in a pergola here to join the committee here. There's another one going on right behind me in our office building here. As I said, I'm an extension field agronomist. I've been in this position for 34 years. Been with extension total of about 41 at this particular point, which explains all of the gray hairs and lack of hairs and so forth that I have here. I think, what I'm really kind of interested in, besides what has been talked about earlier here, is obviously looking forward. Where do we want to go as a committee? With regard to the next AMPIC and also anything in between.
Good. Thank you. Let's see, who else do I have on? I'm not sure who I have on my screen. So if you haven't introduced yourself, someone jump in, please.
Well, I'll go ahead and do so. Unfortunately, my camera is not working here. As is the case with a lot of extension employees, we have county and state support. The county owns the laptop, the software is managed by the state, and it's Friday afternoon. So what are my odds that I'm going to get this fixed today? So I just came from the field doing an interview about our winter wheat crop. And Jenny, I just want you to know I mentioned Nebraska because our wheat is really short here in Wisconsin this year. And I did some digging beforehand, as any good extension agent should, to get the national perspective. And I said, at least we're not Nebraska, where 82% of the winter wheat is rated poor or very poor. Also, say hi to Wayne Onisor if you know him. He's one of my friends from your great state. But I'm here in Wisconsin. I'm located 30 minutes south and west of Lambeau Field. So if you know where the Packers play, you know where I am in Wisconsin. And I've been here 26 and a half years. And like everybody else, I've met Virgil before. We've talked. Good. I see the thumbs up. And even though you can't see me, I want to learn more about what the National Committee is up to and what I can do to be more effective at the state level.
I didn't catch your name. Could you give us your name, please?
I'm sorry. I probably started rambling without even introducing myself. My name is Kevin Jarek, and that's Jarek. Yes, you see the county password or name there, Jarek KD. So that would have been hard to decipher.
Very good. Is there anyone else that I have not had the opportunity to introduce themselves yet?
I would assume that everybody knows Scott, but Scott.
Yeah, probably good for Scott to introduce himself here too.
That's all right. I'm Scott Hallbaker. I'm staying in the background, executive director. I'm multitasking while this is going on, so I'm emailing out confirmations to the annual meeting as we go. So if I have my camera off, that's because I don't want you to see my face and it's smiling while I'm doing that. So anyway.
Well, Virgil, when you introduced yourself, I thought you said virtual Schmidt at first. So I thought, yeah, you're not in person. So yeah, you are kind of virtual here today, but it's still
right.
Virtual, not virtual. So,
and Michael,
yes,
it looks like Jerry Dew from Lafayette County, Arkansas is on the iPhone. So
yeah,
okay.
Sorry, I'm in between running traps and all that. But I'm down in Arkansas. I'm in the opposite corner from Chris. And I was encouraged to participate in some committee meetings. So that's what I'm doing.
Well, very good. And what was your name again, Jenny?
My
What
name
was
is
it?
Jerry Dew.
Okay, thank you. Okay, is there anyone else I missed?
It
Oh,
looks
you
like,
got a new one on here, Dr. Knight.
yep.
Hello, my name is Colt Knight. I'm the Extension Development Council Chair, and I'm just checking out some other committee meetings and seeing what's going on.
And Colt, you're located in Maine, correct?
Yeah,
Well, thank you for being part of our committee today.
yep, no problem.
Okay. Well, I think we need to roll on. And we've had a couple of people talk about what we want to see for objectives of our committee, what we're going to do, where we're going to go. But I think probably before we get to that point, let's talk about what we're doing right now this year and what's upcoming with our committee for our upcoming AMPIC here in just in a month from now. I need to really thank our committee members who were with us. They really worked. We did a great job this year. I thought they did a great job getting some scoring in for our presentations. This year, there will be 10 presentations for agronomy and pest management. Some are agronomy, some are pest management. Unfortunately, that's way down from what it was several years ago, but it's what the schedule allows. And I think every committee has about the same number of presentations that are allowed. Here's a question for you though. Do you as a committee members, do you think the limited numbers of speaking slots, at least for this committee, do you think the limited number of presentations that are available, do you think that reduces the numbers of people that apply to be presenters or not? What's your thoughts out there among your colleagues? Anybody have any thoughts on that?
Well, I don't know, at least from my perspective, even though I'm serving as a vice chair, I don't think we even knew when we were submitting presentations how many were actually going to be taken for each committee. So I don't think that hurt anyone from Nebraska for any of the committees. It was just a matter if they were planning on going or not. That's just my perspective.
Historically, I would agree with that 100%, Jenny, that it oftentimes just comes down to, do I know I have those dates available to attend the meeting, and do I have the budget to do it? If so, I'll apply for something. And if I know I can't go, which ultimately from a presentation or an award submission, if you know you maybe aren't going to come, it kind of messes up the system a little bit if you get accepted as a presenter and then come back and say, oh, by the way, I'm not coming now. So then that kind of forces the Michaels and the other committee chairs to pick someone else if the submissions are there. But it's kind of you never know from year to year, Michael, how many people are going to apply or submit.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Jenny. And several of you have mentioned this. So I think as far as what our background is for this committee and what the purpose of this meeting are, we want to discuss what we want to see for agronomy and pest management at future AM and AMPICs. And then we also want to discuss, what do we want to see for the agronomy and pest management committee activities during the year apart from the AMPIC. And then we'll probably, when we get some suggestions, we'll see what we can make as far as priorities and go from there. One thing we are doing again this year, we are offering CCA credits for the agronomy pest management talks. We're also going to be offering them for our super seminar, which we'll get to in just a few seconds here, because we do have a super seminar this year. And we've also made the application for a CEU for the bear breakfast presentation. because it's not agronomic crop related. And for those of you who are going to be there, that's going to be the bear breakfast will be held Thursday morning at 6:45. And obviously, here's a question we have, and I'm Scott, you're on this, and you can answer this, but I'd also like to hear everyone on the committee what they think. Do we want to consider having a recording of that presentation and put it on as a uplink or something like that, or a YouTube, or do we want to consider a Zoom extension of the bear breakfast to have it available for our committee or our membership people that are not at that bear breakfast? I'm looking at it from a couple ways. Number one, it offers something that people can't be there just for the breakfast. Plus, from the Bayer aspect, as a sponsor, I'm sure they would like to reach more people than just the people at that breakfast as well. But there may be problems with that. So, Scott, let's hear the logistics aspect of it first, and then we'll discuss if we need to discuss it beyond that.
Well, my interpretation would be one, check with Bear to make sure they'd be okay with doing that, because sometimes you just never know. They probably would appreciate it, but then again, they may tailor it to where certain things aren't said or are being said to us that they don't really want to go out. I don't know what the specifics are and what they're talking about, but logistically, obviously, we do not have it arranged right now with the AV company to do that. These rooms are, if it were to be held on the main stage, then we've got the full platform there with recording capabilities already set up. But for these presentation rooms, we do not. But it could be, and Colt is kind of an expert on this stuff, that someone with the right equipment could come in and just do it with their phone, if we wanted to FaceTime live it or something. I think it just all comes down to, I don't know what the cost would be to do it. If you wanted me to hire someone from the outside to come in and do it, I imagine it would not be cheap.
That's what I was going to say. I would agree with that because I know when we've had it in the past here in Utah, we tried to substitute some things and it cost us a pretty penny to substitute out.
Yeah, and Scott, you mentioned having somebody else do it, even somebody on an iPhone, or I'd imagine the people at Colorado State, somebody's got a camera on a tripod, that they could use for that. But then I guess my question is there something in the contract with the AV company that would basically say, you can't do that?
Yeah, that we're actually bringing in an outside company. So I know they're approved. They're not going to care, but I've got an owl, that could potentially be, that could be set up. Of course, those pick up everybody. So, I mean, if somebody coughs in the back of the room, the camera's going to flip and listen to the person coughing. So, I mean, Colt, I don't know if he's able to listen to all of this, but he might have some suggestions as well.
Yeah, I'm here. It depends on if you really want it to be high quality. You're going to need a decent video camera, but the microphone is the most important part. And depending on the room that you're in, and I don't remember which room that super seminar's in. It's been since December since I've been in there, so I don't remember if we've got. Scott, are they also have a PA system in these rooms, or are they all going to be speaking voice only?
That's a really good question. This is in the Grand Ballroom 2.
Mm-hmm.
That one would probably have a PA, wouldn't it?
In the past, they've had a microphone for the speaker in those rooms.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah, that's the other thing. So you got to record over the PA or you got to record without a PA. And then when it comes to the question, you can never get people to slow down enough to get the questions on microphone. So it really depends. I've done them before, and if you're not recording in 4K and you've got a more modern camera, they'll record longer than 30 minutes, but the older cameras won't record longer than 30 minutes. So you kind of got to watch that a little bit. But I mean, it's not hard to record a person talking. You just need a good microphone and a camera. And then if you had someone that could go in and post and put the PowerPoint up digitally into the recording instead of trying to record the screen, it would come out really nice. But you need somebody that knows how to work the camera and the microphone to get in there and record that for you.
Would you even need to record video? Could you just show the slides? And then that way you just need a microphone?
Just record the audio part. You could, it just wouldn't be a very fun video to watch.
Well, I mean, how much are they going to see from somebody walking around on stage? I don't know. It's just a question.
The way I like to do them is to kind of put the person in the like the left-hand side of the frame, and then superimpose the PowerPoint slides and stuff in the upper right hand. You know, kind of like a picture-in-picture deal. I mean, if you want to make it pleasant to watch and whatnot.
Well, another possibility is if Bayer is willing to do this, and we have to work out and see how this works with NACAA. You know, maybe Bayer would also be willing to do this as a webinar at another separate time. But I'm not sure how that works. Being a national sponsor, if we can allow that or not, Scott, I'm not sure how all that works. What are your thoughts, Scott? If a later webinar, if as a repeat, not live at the meeting, would that be a possibility?
I think it would. Keep in mind, Jim Riscosi is retiring from Bayer, and so I have no idea whether I'm even going to be able to keep them as a sponsor. He has, it's been very challenging for him the last several years to talk to the right people and twist the right arms. And I kind of got it's been nice working with you statement from Jim. So trust me, I'm going to be cornering him in Denver. And I know he also has been supportive of the horticulture pre-tour just because hort is his actual background. And I know that Jenny Rosenkrantz is going to, we're going to try to get the contact name of who we can reach out to, because he's not going to be able to secure it for 27. Because I really do think he's retiring like in July.
Okay. So Virgil and Andrew and everyone else that's on the line here, what are your thoughts? If it's possible, would you like to have, and you're not going to be at the breakfast, do you think this would be something if we had a webinar of this presentation? Would this be of value to our fellow members of NACAA? In case you're wondering, the topic this year is how Bayer uses expert learning for you to better support farmers in the field.
It is.
What's their definition of expert learning?
Don't know.
Their original what was printed in the magazine was digital crop monitoring innovation. So Jim obviously was not able to line up a speaker to talk on that, and so he switched it up. He does have a speaker coming, which Michael has shared with me, but we don't really know what that means.
Let's say, because if that basically means artificial intelligence, I mean, I think there's a lot of interest and also a lot of questions in terms of what does that mean for us in agriculture, both in the ag-related parts as well as in, the production parts. And so, if he's going to address that, I think that would be really useful to a lot of our members.
And we've got time, so we wait and see what it is. And if it was really good and you want to hear it again, then come back and schedule.
That's what I was wondering, Scott. I mean, it might be something that if we, after we see what the presentation is, then we can make that call.
Very good. We will go with that. And thank you for your input, everyone. I think we've made a little headway on this. Very good. Also headway we can talk about this year is we have a super seminar for our agronomy and pest management. We basically have 3 1-hour presentations for the seminar. Our first one is you want to fly a drone, and this is going to be from Utah State University's drone expert up there. He's going to give us an overview of what's needed to obtain and operate drones, especially what's going to be needed as far as if you're going to make pesticide applications and record keeping and all those kind of things. Our second talk is going to be Curtis Pate from Ag Integrity out of Yuma, Arizona. They are kind of on the forefront of using a lot of the drone technology, but not for pesticide applications. They're using them in all kinds of different ways with the sensors they have on them. They're getting plant populations and plant heights, emergence. They're actually distributing beneficial insects. They're using them over date trees to look for infestation. So there's lots of different things that are coming up with the drones and the sensors he's going to be talking about. And our third hour is going to be Alan Leininger out of Ohio State University. He's an NACA member. He's going to be sharing some of the data he's had developed over the last several years, where he's looking at the interactions of drone speed and heights and the nozzle types and the different pesticide products as far as what that means for efficacy. So it should be a very interesting seminar. And again, we've applied for CCA CEUs for that as well. So we're having a seminar this year. So the question is, for next year for Minnesota, do we also want to be thinking about trying to have a super seminar for 2027 in Minnesota?
I can tell you out of the 5 super seminars, you have 112 registered, and that is the top selection of participants. So it looks like it's popular, if that helps in answering the question you just asked.
Oh, very, very good. So people online, what do we want to think about organizing another super seminar for next year? Because reason we ask this is we have to get the paperwork in and suggestions and kind of have it all fleshed out usually by sometime in November for the national board to look at and consider.
I think the deadline is November 15th now.
Okay. One thing that came to mind as far as the agronomy aspect of it, there's a lot of different biological products out there. Do we want to have a super seminar dealing with all these biologicals and biostimulants as an overview from that?
It looks like Talon had a suggestion too.
Yeah, but biologicals is one option, I think. But Virgil had also brought up AI. I'm not sure if the Bayer talk is going to cover that or not, but it seems like it could be a few talks talking about how AI is currently used and might be used in agriculture in the near future.
I've seen the outline for the Bayer talk. There is some AI included in that. How much I don't know, but there is some included in the Bayer breakfast talk.
You mentioned the biologicals and the biostimulants, and at least, our take here is that it's kind of like behinds, everybody has one. And whether or not they work or not becomes really, really questionable. And so I'm not really quite sure how we would attack that, other than simply say, buyer beware, do your own research. But, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think it'd be a great topic, but I'm not sure what we could accomplish. Now, if somebody else can answer my questions. That's great.
I think maybe some of that is, um, maybe it's not, if we did something like that, maybe it's not 3 1-hour segments. Maybe it's like 20 minutes 20 minutes of just um, different topics, different types, because there's different types. And also, what are we looking at when we're studying these? Because I think everyone's focused on yield, but what else is going on in the plants, or what else has been seen from the research? Maybe a important piece of this too.
And I think one of the other things is, if somebody, and maybe, all the states are doing this, I don't know, but, how do you conduct, statistically valid on-farm research? If somebody's pushing you to use a product, how do you evaluate it? Doing it on half the field and not the other half is not the way to go. And so, how do you do that and make it work on your own farm? Now, maybe everybody's in all the states have done that, and that's fine. But if not, if we could, provide our membership with some skills, that they could work with their clients and help them say, okay, how do we set this up? Okay, if it's going to be strip trials, how do we set this up so that it's randomized block, that it's fits with your equipment, that you got good data that you can collect on your yield monitor, et cetera, et cetera.
I wonder if some of these might be good for individual webinars that we put on throughout the year, because there may be some of our membership that can't make it to an AMPIC meeting because of travel funds or whatnot. And something like, we're talking right here with these, how to set up a trial and run it, and that would be beneficial to, I think, a lot more people than what attends the AMPIC meetings. Just a thought.
Good
Yeah.
point. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, that's a good point. I had just given a webinar about the blend of those two things, about how we're doing on farm research with these types of products, and then the research, like the results that we've found so far. So yeah, that's a good idea.
Very good. I think we've got some good ideas here, and I would encourage all of you to, if you have more ideas after this meeting's over, to visit with your regional chair or myself. We want to get this fleshed out, and we'll probably discuss this a little bit more in depth at the national meeting as well here. So, one other thing we have here, I also want to know, if we're trying to give something to our client, to our fellow agents who are not at AMPIC, do we also want to maybe have a quick, maybe as a webinar, the people who have posters for agronomy and pest management, and have 4 or 5 people at that point in time? We'd have the posters up there. They could talk about what they did, because there might be of interest. But that's just my idea. But what does everyone think? Would that be useful or not?
I guess I would think it would be, and I guess I would kind of also think that, if you were to do that during the poster session while the presenter is there, that with the cell phone, you could have that person do a little recording and say, this is the work that I've done. And you can see my methods here, and right down here is what I found. and then kind of do that for each one. I think it would be worth trying at least.
Okay. Other thoughts on that? Talon, what are your thoughts?
I think the short video is a good idea. It's definitely not a webinar for a poster that maybe can get too drawn out. So lightning talks is a better pace, I think. And yeah, I guess what I was just thinking is like, do we have a YouTube channel, or is there a place where these can be posted that people can quickly find them, in the field?
We do. All of our current webinars are linked on that YouTube channel. So I can put that in the chat.
Okay. Very good. Any other ideas for webinars or a super seminar for next year? Or for the next coming 12 months, I guess?
I'll just second the idea that I think I would find useful. Like, how do we, what are techniques people are using, software people are using for pulling yield monitor data out for like a strip trial and making sure all your strips are the same. If you need to trim out bad areas, how are you normalizing across those strips? So I'd be interested to see what people are doing to deal with that type of data.
Okay. Very good. Other comments and thoughts from people? This is our chance to brainstorm here. Well, I know it's the end of the week. People are getting tired. One other thing, continuing on with the 2026 AMPIC. Again, it's not directly part of our committee, but there is the Search for Excellence in Crop Production. I know that the person that is the national winner this year will be giving a talk in our session, so that will be good if you can support those individuals. And the other thing we want to talk about for next year is 2027. Some committees have a pre or post tour. We haven't had one with the Agronomy Pest Management Committee for many, many years. We tried it once, and it was one of those meetings where it was during the middle of the summer and people just couldn't get away. Next year, with the meeting being in September, it might be a little bit slower. People might have a little bit more time. What do you think? Do we want to have a pre-tour or a post-tour? And if so, what do we want to see? The reason we bring this up is usually we have to get sponsorship for these things as well to offset some of the costs. So we haven't really had one in many, many years. I don't know if there's a need for one. It may depends on what's on the tours for that during the AMPIC. But I'd just like to hear everyone's thoughts as far as if they think it's a good idea or a bad idea, or there's no interest whatsoever.
I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but when we had the AMPIC here in Iowa in 2023, I sent out that question, and I'll just say that the response was underwhelming.
That's fine. If there isn't really much interest, we don't have to pursue it. But I thought we need to have it on the table and discuss today. Just in case.
I think we could have put on a great pre-tour. Minnesota could put on a great tour. So I think it's not the quality of the tour. The question is there interest in doing it? And that I don't know.
And I think in the past for agronomy pest management, having tours with AMPICs in July or August have been challenging. With next year being in September, it's a little bit different time frame. So that's why I was just bringing it up.
And if I think anything might make it go, it might be that time frame.
Okay. Andrew, what are your thoughts? You're still with us, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm here. Um, I mean, my gut would be maybe to try it. Um, I do think the time of year may be better. Um, I, I mean, I wasn't aware that, the response in Iowa was low. That's kind of interesting to me. But again, maybe that was a time of year type thing. I don't know.
Yeah, because it was disappointing to me because I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it kind of seems like the place you would want to go, but yeah, I don't know.
The response from Nebraska will be low because that's Husker Harvest Days and National Shooting Sports and everything else. Like, it's a really hard week.
Yeah.
Maybe as part of the post AMPIC survey is you have a question on that is, would you go on one if it was available? Before you put a lot of time and effort into it and find out you only have 25 people that want to come, and here you were planning on 100 people. The other thing I was just going to point out is the fact that, sometimes we go to different places. I like to see agriculture in other parts of the US just because in Utah, it's such a different type. And so for me, it's beneficial, but yet others, it may not be. It's like, okay, I've seen that, done that.
Mike, that's a good suggestion, is having that as a survey. Scott, is that going to be can we put that in on a survey or not?
When would you be doing that?
I mean, the survey?
Yeah.
Post, I would say post AMPIC survey.
Oh, in the overall one, yeah.
Yeah, just a quick question that says, hey, would you be interested in attending agronomy and pest management tour in pre-tour, post-tour in next year?
I need to put my thinking cap on because ultimately it's one of the upcoming host states that's responsible for developing that, and they always ask what you want in it, and I don't remember if it's I don't know if it may be Minnesota doing it this year for their meeting. And I'm not sure any of those discussions have taken place yet. So that I appreciate you guys bringing this up so we make sure that the survey is going to get done. I will look into that. And they always do ask, is there any particular questions you want asked? So Michael, if you could shoot me an email of exactly what wording you would want to go in it, I'm sure we can get it added.
Very good. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Mike, for the suggestion, and we will continue on. We've kind of talked about maybe some Zoom meetings or things like that. Do we want to have, uh, I guess, some other specific webinars we haven't talked about during the year? I know last year it was talked about having on the endangered species and the new mitigation scoring, but that really came back down to more of a state by state because different people had different things happening with that. I guess the question is, for what do we want to have for webinars maybe for this next year in addition to what some of the things we've already discussed, or are there none? And I guess really as we're doing this, we're trying to figure out and kind of determine what value can this committee provide to the rest of the NACAA membership. And probably the biggest question to answer that is, what are our most pressing needs? And I can't do much about the economics right now. Chris, what do we hear from your part of the country down there?
I mean, it's more so just from what you mentioned, we can't do anything a whole lot about it. It's the economic side of it.
Okay. So as we look at this, and I guess we talked a little bit about the biologicals, and we have this whole suite of now of bacteria that are out there that are being adapted and increased every year as far as these nitrogen fixing bacteria that are not restricted to legumes. Would that be of interest? If there's research data on that from various states or various entities to provide to the membership.
Are folks really seeing that technology being adopted widely in their areas? Because here in Maryland, it was played around with a little bit, but adoption has not happened.
It's the
And
easy
every
button.
part, go ahead, Jenny.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Virgil.
No, go ahead.
I'd say in Nebraska, it's been the easy button for people to feel like they're doing something good. So it's been adopted more than what the research has shown that it's helpful. But you know what you could do, Michael, is there could be an email just sent out to the membership asking if those who have research on biologicals and biostimulants, if they're interested in presenting on a webinar, to just contact you or someone on the committee. And then we'd have a better, because I don't even know who in other states have information on these things beyond Nebraska.
And I feel guilty about volunteering somebody else, but we do have a couple of people in our agronomy department that have done some work on that, and I think he's retired now. But Dave Franzen in North Dakota did a lot of work on that before he retired.
There's a couple of researchers at Illinois also looking at these products. I haven't been involved with any of the trials specifically, but I could definitely talk to them and, help make connections if needed.
That would be great. Good suggestions from everyone. And the other thing that a lot of people don't realize from the pest management aspect to the agronomy aspect of it is a lot of these things are sensitive to applications of glyphosate, because glyphosate is a very good bactericide and fungicide. A lot of people don't realize it also has activity beyond just herbicides, and so we've seen that over the years in various crops. So if we're getting strange results sometimes or inconsistent results, we always people need to make sure that's what that factor might be included as well here. But I think we got some good suggestions. Jenny, thank you. Talon and Virgil, fantastic. We'll work on this a little bit more. So I think we've got some good ideas here and good things as far as what we want to go and look at for this next year. Do we have some other items we want to consider to discuss today? I'll leave this up to you because I've talked way too much today. This is your committee, not necessarily my committee.
Well, I guess one of the things is going back to an early question. What are the objectives of our committee now that we've talked about things a little bit? What is it that we're really trying to accomplish here?
Well, if I look at it, I think for our committee is bringing value to NACAA agronomy and pest management beyond just the presentations at AMPEC. Go ahead, Talon.
Yeah, I think it's good to have more ongoing professional development throughout the year, opportunities for the statewide membership. And just a thought towards an earlier part of the conversation about what if we, are we dissuading people from putting in applications for conference presentations if we only have 7 slots or whatever. But if this is something we do for a while, like ongoing webinars, it might be something like you didn't get a conference presentation, but we invite you to provide a webinar on this topic, throughout the year. So it might be a way of filling in those slots as taking people who you can't select for the conference, but giving them a webinar.
Justin, what do we hear from the Northeast? He's on his car. We may have lost him. Any other ideas? We've got some good ideas. This is your committee. Please chime in with ideas so we can make things happen here.
Oh, Virgil, I think you're muted.
Who's muted?
Thank you. User error on this, and thank you for stopping me before I went on for 10 minutes. I don't know if we'd want to go here if it'd even be doable, but I have run into more than one instance where I have asked one of our people to do something, a webinar or something like that, and they'll say, "Well, guys, so and so out at Ohio State, did this, and here's the URL for it." And being here in Iowa, I had no idea what was happening at Ohio State, and I imagine they don't know a whole lot about what's happening in Iowa. Is there some way that we could gather agronomy and pest management stuff across the states and kind of compile that as a list so that people would know what resources are available out there, as opposed to having to stumble on them? And that may be beyond the scope of what we can do. That may be something we shouldn't do. I don't know. That's just an idea.
Virgil, when you're talking about compiling, you're talking about by crop or by sub discipline within a crop. What are you thinking on this?
I haven't gone that far. I mean, that was just something that popped in and popped out. And how it would be organized, I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. If it'd be by crop or if it would be by, if we're looking at entomology by insect or how that would all work. I don't know. I haven't thought about that. Just kind of thinking of there'd be some kind of a central place where we could see what other people in other states are doing and then capture that.
What do other people think of this idea?
I'm trying to compile my thoughts. Hold on. There's a lot of potential here. It could be a reference sheet for our extension educators, so they're up to date on current research in IPM. It could be a review of current biological products out there. There's a lot of, I think that we need to adjust the scope a bit. It's really broad.
Maybe we start with one thing, one area, and compile that and see how it goes, and you work on that over several years to where you've got a good broad base for it. Because I like the idea, but it sounds like it's an undaunting task to try and put all that together, especially across all the states.
I'm gonna say a lot of these things may be more regional in size than national. Do we want to think more of a regional basis on this?
I like the idea of it being across the US, because I mean, what you guys are doing in, the Midwest and that we might say, oh yeah, we're drier here in Utah, but I like the idea and here's how I can adapt that, or who can I talk to, that has the same problem that we're starting to see. And so I like that idea of across all regions. But I think it's just, maybe you look at a couple of very specific ones and say, okay, which states are doing research or have done research recently in this area, so that if I've got that problem or I'm seeing it, I've got somebody to talk to.
Well, I hate to let things just fall apart. So we've got some impetus here, some momentum. Do we have a couple volunteers that would like to, two or three or four volunteers that would like to work with me to try to make something like this get started?
Yeah,
I
I'd
think
be
it's
happy
worth
to do
discussing
that.
again.
Hey, Jenny, I heard Jenny. Who else?
The Ohio State University, Ambry Small.
Thank you, Ambria.
I'll do what I can, however much or little that is.
Hey, fantastic. Thank you. Anyone else?
I mean, you're
Nope.
also in the West, Michael, but I'd be more than happy to help from. I tend to keep my eyes and ears closer to home than some of our other states, but
Okay. Well,
And I guess and maybe this would be something to be talked about later, but since we've got people from all over the country here, um, where would be a good place to start with something like that? You know, something that's pretty universal. You know, if I pick cotton, that doesn't mean a whole lot to me. If I pick, you know, soybeans, that might not be a whole lot to anybody else. Corn is grown in every state. But then we've got other topics like the biologicals, for instance. I think, you know, doesn't really matter what crop you're talking about. You're still dealing with biologicals and so forth. So do we want to do something, start with something that's kind of universal? I guess, which I would think would be appropriate. And if so, what?
Very good. Well, we've got a, shall we say, our base committee here. I think that for the base committee, we'll get together sometime here as we go. We'll get some things happening, and it looks like Ambria just shared something with us.
Yeah, this is kind of where my mind goes. So my background is academia, recently moved into education. So when I'm thinking about current resources, I'm thinking about current research. Where's the edge of agronomy knowledge at now? This is something we do at Ohio State. This is all the research that is being done in field crops at the extension level at Ohio State. We publish it every single year. It's a compilation. We have prints, but this is just where we share what do we know now, what's the current knowledge, who's in charge of these projects. So it's and it's divided by topics, so precision agriculture, water quality, biologicals, chemical control is it's divided into a crop type, that sort of thing. So I don't know. Again, I'm very new to extension. I don't know if other states are doing something like this or if this is something that Virgil kind of reflects your needs that you're trying to address. But if you click on that, it has the whole archive. We've been doing this since 2017. We also have e-Barns and e-Plus. Barns is exactly what it sounds like. It's livestock, and E-Plus is specialty crop production. And those are more recent
And your
publications.
intended audience for that is who's that for the general public? Or is that basically for extension people to use as reference? Who's your audience?
It's a great question. The intended audience is for the grower and for extension. Uh, Personally, I don't think it puts it into layman's terms enough for it to be effective for growers, but I think it's a great resource for extension educators to take a look at and develop their own ideas. And if there's questions in there that reflect the needs of their own community, they can take these research projects and move them to their own counties. I think it does a great job of that. It's something I thumb through every year to see who's doing what.
See, and that's the kind of thing, you know, they kind of brought about, you know, the idea when I first threw it out, you know, see if it stick to the wall. I had no idea that that was available from your school. And it
It's
would
well
be nice.
marketed here, but not on a national scale.
See, there you
Needs some
go.
work.
But I would guess that there's something that's on there that I might find useful if I knew it was there, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think on that same link, yes, if you scroll to the top of that link, there's a link to KX Fields database. If you have a specific question, you can put it in the search and it will pull up related articles based on your question and keywords. It's not perfect, but it's a really cool resource.
And Jenny has put up in the chat that Nebraska has on-farm research results available. They've been doing that since before 2017. And that's also available, but that's for research, on-farm research in producers' fields that is basically conducted in conjunction with extension. So I think our committee can discuss this further. I know people have things to do. So do we have anything else that we need to discuss or consider at this point in time with everyone that is here? Well, seeing none, I thank you all for your time. You're taking time off to attend to this on a Friday afternoon. Appreciate it. I wish everyone a great weekend and a great rest of the month. Hopefully, we'll see quite a few of you at the national meeting in Denver next month. And we thank again Scott and Colt being on here from the national board to help us with some of our discussions. So thank you, everyone. With that, unless there's something to be said, I'm going to adjourn the meeting. And those of you who volunteered for the committee, I will get in touch with you here next week and we'll keep going. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you for organizing this, Michael.
Well, it's only good because we had people like you involved. So thank you, Virgil, and thank everyone else that was involved. With that, I'm going to close it because I need to get out and do test plots yet this afternoon, and I've got growers waiting for me.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you. Looking forward to meeting you all.